people left. Hey everybody, welcome back to another one of my videos. If you're new here, my name is Taylor. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. You might as well subscribe if you aren't subscribed already. And if you're a returning subscriber, hey y'all, it's good to see you guys again. Today, I wanted to introduce you guys to my new segment. This is episode 1 of Talks with Tay, where we sit down and we just have real life, realistic conversations. So this is something new that I'm starting on my channel. I'm very excited. In this episode, we're going to be talking about elevation requiring separation. I wanted to sit down and have a real grown, mature adult conversation about elevation requiring separation. I took some notes because I wanted to stay on track and make sure that I give you guys clear, concise talking points that anyone can relate to. Sorry if you hear squeaking in the background, that's my fur baby playing with her toy. I literally can sit down and share with you guys my positive experiences that came with separating myself from things that no longer served me. Elevation starts in the inside. I'm not talking about no clothes, no material items, no money, none of those things. I'm literally talking about elevation on the inside, in your soul, your spirit, your mind, your body. When you do the internal work, oh honey, the external circumstances is just gonna show. Like, you don't even gotta open your mouth to say anything because the external work is already speaking for yourself. And I realized, I learned the hard way that you have to let go of your attachments. The longer you stay attached to things that do not serve you, you will stay stuck on that hamster wheel. You will not get to where you wanna be. And who wants to live a life that way? To step into your higher self, you have to do the shadow work. You might have heard me talk about that on my channel before. If not, I'm mentioning it again. Shadow work is so important. A lot of the times you have to step into isolation or solitude to really get the answers that you're looking for. People can't answer the question, your job can't answer the question, your friends can't answer the question, your parents, your lover, your kids, or you know, whatever it is that you really need to work on internally, you have to shut out all the noise and do the work. A lot of the times, I'm gonna be real with y'all, and I can say this from experience, I'm talking about myself as well. A lot of the times we lazy and we don't wanna do the work. Sometimes we're too comfortable, we're too scared to step away from the things that we know because that's our comfort zone. Like, I can say for myself personally, once I removed myself from certain environments and people, my life truly pivoted. And I was so scared to let these things go because I was familiar with these things. I was comfortable with these things. Life started getting really serious for me. I was like, okay, I had to take a step back from everything I know, everything I thought I wanted, and let me sit back and do the shadow work. For me, the shadow work was getting off of social media, spending a lot of quality time with myself, journaling, making voice notes in my phone, expressing myself. And then going back and listening to what I recorded or reading what I wrote in my journal. It took a lot of trusting myself more. During the season of elevating, you have to learn to trust yourself. You have to learn to understand your personality type. And once you do that, the shadow work can begin, right? Because I can tell you guys that I am an empath. I'm very type A, very cookie cutter. I like to walk a straight line, right? So once I truly understood my personality type and where I'm falling short in my behaviors and my patterns and my decisions, I was like, okay, let's take a break. Let's sit back and reevaluate why things are going the way that they are in my life, right? Now, I'm not saying these things were going bad. Let me make that very clear. Things weren't going bad, but I knew that I needed to make some sort of change. I knew that in order to get to where I really want to be, especially professionally, personally, I knew that I had to make a significant change. I had to stop complaining. I had to stop looking at the glass half empty, because that's what a lot of people do, including myself. Anything that I'm saying to you guys, best believe I had this pep talk with myself at some point. But I knew that I had to really lock in and get real with myself about my goals and my aspirations and my dreams. In order to do that, I had to take a step back from everything. People, social media, bad habits. Like, I'm not gonna disclose what my habits were, but you know what your habits are. So you know if your habits are like daunting to your personal development, then maybe you should reevaluate. I'm not gonna tell y'all to not do your big one, but just, you know what you need to do for your life and your bad habits. So once I like sat back, I said, okay, Taylor, you need to do this, this, and this to become this, this, and this. a lot of the times we already know innately in our spirit, they're like, okay, my chapter with this is done. My time in this environment has concluded. Like, it's time for me to go. And a lot of the times we like to hold on to things because of comfort and familiarity, and that don't really get you nowhere. I've learned throughout my research that a lot of successful people take risks. I was not a risk taker. I did not become a risk taker until I was about 27, 28. And to be honest with you guys, my life changed when I turned 28. I started getting really, really serious about my goals and my aspirations and what had to go in order for me to get there. I'm not exactly where I want to be in life just yet, but I'm in a damn good spot. I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm thriving, I am pivoting. All of my dreams are coming true. So I feel like, you know, I know a little thing or two where I could sit down and talk to my audience about this, because this is serious. Let's use the example of wanting to lose weight. Or gain weight, because everybody don't always want to lose weight. But the example I'm going to use for this video, we're going to talk about weight loss. You know you want to lose weight, but you know you're going to Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, Wendy's. You know you're eating a lot of highly processed food. You know you're doing a lot of drinking, a lot of smoking. You know you're very lazy, you're not getting enough sleep. You're not even working out. So how are you literally going to pivot to become your best self if you're not putting in the work to make the change that you want to see? Prime example, earlier this year, I just wasn't happy with the way I looked. I had gained a few pounds. I just knew that I wasn't happy with how I felt and how I looked, right? So I needed to make a change. I had to slow down on the Starbucks every day. You drinking nothing but sugar. I had to slow down on the drinking. I had to get better rest. I had to get my ass up and go to the gym. I had to make better food choices, and I wasn't even overdoing it with the food, but I also wasn't making the best food choices. So I had to really knock some sense into my own self, like, girl, you're not going to get the results that you want because you still have the same old habits that's holding you back. You understand what I'm saying? So once I buckled down, I sat my ass down, I was like, okay, this is what needs to happen to get to this. Your girl has lost the weight that she wanted to lose, and I'm still on the journey. But the mindset, it all starts up here. It literally all starts up here. Because if this ain't right, ain't nothing else in your life gonna be right. Trust me, okay? So get on your Zoom, be very specific about what it is that you want in your life, and you have to go get it, but you have to separate yourself from the things that does not serve you trying to go to your new season. So I know that in the season of me grinding to get into the academic program that I wanted to get into, right? I knew that I had to fall back from my distractions, going out all the time, coming home late, not being on my Zoom, not studying. I had to ask myself, well, Taylor, how are you gonna get into nursing school if you're not studying? And Taylor, how are you gonna get into nursing school if you're not applying yourself? Taylor, how are you gonna get into nursing school when you sleeping in and you not getting up to study before class? Bad habits kept me down. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? So you have to reevaluate what is going on in your life personally, who is around you, what is distracting you. You have to get serious about who you want to be. And that light bulb clicked for me at 28 years old, I promise you guys. At 28, I started getting very, very serious. I'm like, okay, you've made it this far, but you know you're trying to go up here. What is stopping you in between these gaps to getting up here? Once I really evaluated what was in my way, it had to go. And it wasn't an easy separation. Changing your mindset, changing your habits, putting your phone down, picking up a book, those are not easy things to transition to. So I'm saying this so fluently, but best believe it took 2.5 years of work to get to where I am now, to be able to sit here and talk to you guys. Probably more than 2 years worth of work, for real, because things truly changed for me during COVID. It was like in 2020, something just snapped in my head. And in 2022, the snap it just kept, like the buzzing just kept being in my ear. I'm like, okay, God, I hear you. Because also my spirituality has increased. I don't know what your belief is, but for the spiritual people, it's like you have to tap in with God. And I genuinely hear God so much clearer than I ever have in my life. You have to accept what isn't going to serve you in your next chapter of life. I'm gonna say that again. You have to accept what isn't going to serve you in your next chapter of life. Once you accept it and you move on, oh, everything is up after that. Every successful person I am familiar with or that I know had to go through these changes. Sometimes it can hurt. It's not easy. It's not easy, y'all. I'm not sitting on this camera. I'm not sitting on this screen telling you guys that it's easy, because it's not. But it's worth it. It's important, it's necessary. I also believe in order to elevate, you have to spend a lot of alone time. A lot of us just be running around here dealing with me. I'm laughing because I'm really talking to myself, but I'm talking to y'all. Like, the work I've done internally is just chef kisses. Like, I don't even know who this girl is half the time, but you have to spend a lot of alone time. I've been living on my own for about 3 years now, but I didn't start spending time alone with myself until about last year. 2023 is when I really started to spend time by myself. Once I started spending alone time, getting to know myself on a more personal level, I was like, oh, I don't like this. I do like this. I believe spending time alone is very essential and very necessary for your character development and your growth as a person. Trust me when I say that. And again, that alludes to journaling, voice chats, reading. Not just romantic novels and things like that, but no, self-development books. I have a whole bookshelf behind me. I have a whole section for self-development, and I've tapped into every single self-development book on the shelf. In order to do that, I had to put the phone down. I had to get off the socials. I had to stop taking phone calls. I had to separate myself from things, people, places, habits that did not serve me. You know what did serve me? Reading Atomic Habits by James Clear. You know what else served me? By reading Vibrate Higher Daily by Layla Delilah. Those are the things that serve me. So when you start transitioning your everyday life, your hobbies, habits, the things that you choose to do on a day-to-day basis, you will literally start seeing the transformation before your eyes. It's insane. It goes back to the losing weight example. How you gonna lose weight if you're not putting in the work to lose the fucking weight? I'm sorry, I tried not to cuss. I did so good without cussing. But listen, if you know me, y'all know I'm gonna cuss a little bit. So we touched on so far character development, spending time alone, understanding what needs to go in order to make room for what's to come. But let's talk about accountability. That accountability, baby. During this season of elevation, accountability will be your best friend. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because when you sit down, look yourself in the eye, look at yourself in the mirror, and you understand, you take accountability for your shortcomings and the role that you played in things, it will open your mind to be like, okay, cool. Like, nobody can tell me nothing because I've taken accountability for my shortcomings. I've taken accountability for my laziness, my bad attitude, my bad choices. Once you take accountability and understand, okay, well, my life is going this way because X, Y, and Z, and you be real with yourself and you forgive yourself and you be kind to yourself. In that order: accountability, forgiveness, kindness. You take accountability for your shit and you move on, okay? While you're doing that work, you also ask yourself, well, what do I need? That was a question that I asked myself a lot during this journey. I'm like, well, what does Taylor need to become her best self? What does Taylor need to do to become a better person? What does Taylor need to do to get into school? Like, I had to figure out what I needed in order to get to that. Because the shadow work is not pretty. It's very ugly. Acceptance is ugly. Separation is mortifying. But it's very necessary, dog. I'm telling you. I'm sorry I didn't call y'all dog. I'm still a little ratchet, still a little bougetto, but I'm working on it. While also getting to know myself and asking myself, what do I need in this season? I also accepted and truly inherited the mindset of looking for solutions instead of focusing on an obstacle. That's that glass half empty mindset that I was telling you guys about earlier. I literally had to learn to focus on solutions because I was such an obstacle-based person, and it was like messing me up mentally. Like, anybody that know me would know that, like, oh, Taylor, like, she panics, she does this, she does that. But once I changed that mindset and those patterns, I'm like, okay, me being an obstacle-focused person is tearing me apart. It's not helping me at all. So let me change my mindset. And I promise you guys, once I started focusing on the solutions, baby, oh, everything just started making more sense. So I no longer stress about things that I can't control, and I just focus on what I can control. And I just try my best to be the best person I can be to make decisions for the things that I am in control of. This is not an easy process. This is a process that's going to be built brick by brick, layer by layer. It's going to be ugly. You might lose people along the way. You might lose your partner. If you lose your partner, then they wasn't for you anyway. You might lose friends. You might lose opportunities. You might lose money. You might think you're missing out on things when you're doing this shadow work to become your best self. You might think you're missing out on fun. But I promise y'all, when you really remove yourself, you start looking back at all the things that was in your life like, ew, I dealt with that. You really want to smack yourself sometimes, because it's like, what the fuck was I settling for? What took me so long to get here? But don't focus on that, because that's what the enemy wants you to focus on. The enemy wants you to be mad at yourself for taking so long to get to your destination. The enemy wanted me to be mad because I got accepted into school at 30 when I wanted to do it at 20. That didn't matter. I had to go through all of these seasons to finally get here. I had to go through separation to get here. I had to go through isolation, solitude, getting off the phone, getting off the socials, picking up self-development books, having healthy conversations with people. Everything that I went through over the last couple of years, especially during COVID, has definitely been beneficial for me in the long run. I can genuinely sit here and tell y'all that now. The stories that I have personally will like mind blow a lot of people, but we're not here for that. We're just here for the other side of those lessons. I'm just here to show y'all there is light at the end of the tunnel. It is gold at the end of the rainbow. Y'all ever seen that post where it's a drawing of a man? He's like digging, right? He digging through the tunnel. He digging. You see him like digging and digging and digging, and he's this close to the light. He's this close to the light, and he give up. He turned back around. He like, fuck it, this taking too long. I'm gonna just turn back around. I'm gonna go back to what I know, what I'm comfortable with.
It's like, it's a tunnel, baby, and you gotta walk through. It's no shortcuts out. You can't turn back around because there's nothing back there. And all you see is pitch black ahead. You don't know how long this tunnel is, and ain't nobody else in it with you. You hear some people, but you can't see them.
A couple years ago, oh, I'm turning back around, child. This taking too long. I'm turning back around. I'm doing something else. But God was like, no, keep going. I'm telling y'all, me and God had thorough conversations. I'm not the most religious person, but I'm very spiritual. He never left me nor forsake me on this journey. So if you're not spiritual, that part might not be for you. But if you are spiritual and religious, tap in more, because he wants you to. I said a lot, but I say all of that just to say, in order for you to really, really pivot in this life, to elevate in this life, to be in your purpose, to walk in your purposes, because we're multi-purposeful here. My purpose isn't to film YouTube videos. No, part of my purpose is to connect with genuine people who genuinely wants to evolve and elevate and pivot in their life. And in order to do these things, y'all really have to get rid of the stuff that don't serve you. We be going back and forth. Well, not me in this season, but I've had a season where you would deal with men that didn't treat you right. You'll go places you don't want to go to make other people comfortable. You'll not do what you need to do for you because you want some lazy BS. When you gonna stop doing that? When you gonna stop being a people pleaser? That was my biggest problem, y'all. That was my biggest issue. Once I stopped being a people pleaser, the people left. But that's okay, because that was what was supposed to happen. So thank you guys for tuning in to episode 1 of Talks with Tay. If you like this video, don't forget to let me know down below in the comments. I hope you was able to take something from this message, this video. I'm not perfect. I'm still a work in progress myself, but I have progressed enough to be able to share this. So if you like this video, don't forget to let me know down below in the comments. Subscribe, like, share, do all the things to help your girl grow on this platform, because we got things to talk about. Thank you for tuning in to episode 1 of Talks with Tay, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. And remember, take it easy on yourself. It's a journey. It's not going to happen overnight. That's it. See y'all.
My new bitch look like Halle Berry.